The Indian Pueblo Culture Center presents Pueblo in Focus. Join us for Pueblo Talk, food, history, art, and more. Hosted by Jeremy Filippi from Acoma and Jemez Pueblos. Experience Pueblo, experience history. We are New Mexico. Check us out on YouTube, Spotify, and Meta.
All right, we're here for another Pueblo in Focus podcast. My name is Jeremy Filippi. I'm from the Pueblos of Acoma and Jemez. And with me today is our head museum curator, Dr. Michelle Lanteri.
Hi, Jeremy. Great to be here with you today. Thanks for having me on the podcast.
So talk about your role here at the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center and just how long you've been here, and talk a little bit about yourself.
Sure, thank you. So really happy to be part of the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center team. Been here about a year and a half, and my role as head curator is to work on all of our gallery projects in our rotating spaces and in the permanent museum areas. I really love this role here. I get to connect with a lot of different artists and culture bearers, and we're always in dialogue. The process is really collaborative, so my role is really of a project manager and of a facilitator. So my job is to work with different culture bearers and artists to make these different visions for the exhibitions possible. And we've been working with a lot of different people from the different Pueblo villages over the past year and a half, with a lot more to come for the future.
So we have a couple of exhibitions in the Artist Circle Gallery as well as the South Gallery. Talk a little bit about those.
Great. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, so our Artist Circle Gallery features contemporary Pueblo art, and we're really lucky this year to be able to work with Sage Mountainflower, and she is a mid-career artist from Okewingé, and she also has relatives at Taos Pueblo, and she's also Dene. And she's been in the fashion world for about 10 years or so, and we're just seeing her career really take off at this time. So we're really honored to collaborate with her on a solo exhibition in the Artist Circle Gallery. And so it's called Sage Mountainflower House of Fashion. And House of Fashion actually refers to her fashion house up at Okewingé. And so what we wanted to do was create a title for the exhibition that tied into this year's theme for our temporary exhibitions, which is architecture. And so it was really neat that we were able to make that connection with the place that she creates these ensembles. So the exhibition, it opened on March 15th, and we had a really fun reception. We were able to see a mini fashion show, so we're really lucky to be part of that. And 6 different models showcased Sage's fashions. So we had a really good time with that, learning about what the runway looks like in a gallery setting. And we also got to hear a 30-minute talk from Sage during that reception. And so the exhibition runs from March 15th through July 13th. And when you go into the Artist Circle Gallery space, you're going to walk in and see a lot of different Pueblo textures from all the different villages that she's inspired by. And what's really interesting is that a lot of her work in fashion is actually drawn from Pueblo pottery designs.
And her work is amazing. Just going through there, just like there's so much detail. It's not like she's just known like in New Mexico or say like in the Albuquerque area or Santa Fe area. She's known like worldwide. She's showcased her stuff like overseas in Milan and so many different places. So it's really an honor to have her work here because it's amazing work.
Thank you. Yeah, she's really taking off right now, and that's exactly it. So it's really from the Pueblos to Paris for her, and she has gone to Milan, and she's continuing to get these international invitations to showcase her fashion. And then at the same time, it's really neat that at her home Pueblo of Okewingé that she's also able to have a show that she calls the Feast Day Best show. So she's still bringing it home with her work.
And she's located in Wingate, right? That's where her studio's at. And
her studio is there, and she goes between Albuquerque and Wingate. So she also is an environmental scientist in addition to a fashion artist, and that really comes through in her work, this really deep understanding of the land and just looking at how everything's connected. So when you see an Avanyu in her fashion, she's thinking of it from looking at all these different pottery designs, being inspired by her neighbors making pottery, but then also she's thinking about it from her studies and experiences with water at the different villages of the Pueblos.
And she comes from a family of artists as well, right?
She does, yeah. So her father is an artist, and all of her neighbors growing up were artists, and so she's talked about where she observed a lot of different sewing techniques, and that's really how she came about to her work in fashion, is that there was a need for her to make regalia for her children, and so out of that necessity came a lot of creativity, as it often does, and so then she also expanded that into making different traditional clothes for her neighbors at her home Pueblo and at the different villages nearby.
That's really a cool story of just, her family needed some regalia to wear, and she's like, let me try this, and then it just like took off from there, and she's kind of exploded on the scene.
She is, and what's really neat about her too is she also gives back a lot. So she really honors the value of reciprocity, and she's doing the mentorship program where through her studio out at Wingate, she's working with younger emerging fashion designers and showing different people that are interested how to sew, talking to them about different design concepts. So really see a full circle vision with her.
That's really great, because I think that's one of the Pueblo ideas that we kind of hold close to us, is just that being able to pass that on to like the next generations or anyone who wants to learn. Growing up in the Pueblos, I learned how to sew moccasins, I learned how to make rattles or other regalia. So it's cool that she's passing that on, what she's learned, to other people who are willing to learn as well.
Yeah, definitely. And it's neat to hear your experience too. And in this exhibition, Sage has included some menswear along with different women's wear ensembles. And so you see some different adaptations of intertribal fashion too. The ribbon shirts are adapted through a Pueblo lens, where she's coming from, and with two different home bases in central and northern New Mexico. So one of the really neat ensembles in the exhibition is part of her Black on Black line. And that line, she uses Tewa, her native language, for the title of the line. So it's Fendi, it's Phendi, which means black in Tewa. So she's directly inspired by San Ildefonso Pueblo pottery by the Maria Martinez family, and she's real close with one of the descendants. So one thing led to another, and just making those connections and making the leap from different creativity that you see in pottery and then bringing that into textiles and wearable arts.
Some of our permanent collection is in Sage Mountainflower's exhibit as well.
That's right. Yeah, we're really excited that we were able to showcase 4 pieces from the IPCC's permanent collections. And so there's 3 pieces from the Maria Martinez family of San Ildefonso Pueblo. We've got 2 black on black and then a red ware. And then we're also featuring 2 micaceous pottery vessels. One is by Lani Vigil from Nambe Pueblo, and then one is by Sharon Dryflower Rena of Taos Pueblo. These works really connect to the same kind of textures that you see in Sage's fashions on view. We're really grateful to a major sponsor for Sage's exhibition, and that is New Mexico Arts.
Let's talk about the other exhibit we have going on in the South Gallery.
Yeah, so this exhibition is called Restorying Our HeartPlaces, Contemporary Pueblo Architecture.
Talk a little bit about what that all entails.
Oh, sure. Yeah, thank you. So this exhibition is a long time in the making. This is a guest-curated exhibition by the Indigenous Design and Planning Institute at the University of New Mexico. And it's led by Dr. Ted Hohola from Isleta Pueblo, and it's co-curated between him and Dr. Lynn Paxson, and she's a professor emerita from Iowa State University.
And just like when it was going up, I saw that like our crews had to like demolish some walls and do a lot of repainting. So they really transformed that space into to fit the architecture. So it kind of goes along with the exhibit as well. The whole architecture that went into just displaying the setup there.
Yeah, exactly. So so we had architectural renovations as a big part of this project, and it's really fitting. It's a really open space now. It's great for listening to these different interviews that are showcased in this exhibition. The exhibition is more than 10 years in the making, and so we're really excited that this is our year and that the curatorial team decided to go with a digital storytelling route for this project.
Yeah, I was just walking through. There's like so many different videos you can watch, artists showcased, as well as just, actual artist exhibitions from the Acoma Cultural Center to different displays and different things. So it's really interactive and really cool just to walk through. You could spend like literally hours in just that exhibit alone.
Yeah, you really can. Yeah, and that's one of the main focus points is Acoma Sky City Cultural Center. So that's the big feature in the digital immersive theater. So that's a walk-in theater with 3 different walls of really high-resolution video content, and then you get this behind-the-scenes information and insights from the different architects and designers that were involved in that project, and you're just transported away into this really exciting location where Acoma art and culture is featured.
Yeah, and it's great. I think just walking in too, as well, just seeing the different architects and from a historical perspective, who the first kind of native architect was in the state of New Mexico, and just how different artists or different people in the community are coming together and just showcasing their work in this exhibit.
Yes, exactly. And with its title, Contemporary Pueblo Architecture, the jumping off point is the 1975 Indian Self-Determination Act. So really looking at local tribal control and how that has come through with all these different Pueblo and Native American architects and designers in the Southwest particularly.
Yeah, it's really great. Like I said, there's so many different aspects to this. You have the different models, you have the architect showcased on the wall, and then you have that theater that wraps around, and it's really cool. You don't know where to look at because there's like 3 different scenes, and then you have the main screen as well. So it's really, really, really cool. I think it's very well done.
It is, yeah. They've put so much thought and a lot of above and beyond efforts into the project, and the exhibition even features a brand new Adobe wall just for this project. So you really get that combination of the traditional materials with this digital storytelling, and so different sections are topics like worldview, community, process, progress, and of course the future.
And I think it's really great because Pueblo Architecture kind of laid the foundation for a lot of the architecture here in New Mexico. You go to Santa Fe, you stroll around here in Albuquerque, a lot of the houses have that Pueblo architecture of the squared out housing, and then, the flat roofs and stuff. And so you go to Chaco Canyon or Mesa Verde and you see that same architecture. So it's been around for hundreds of years. So it's great that we're kind of celebrating that Pueblo architecture that's been around for a while.
It is, and looking at how some of those earlier materials continue to influence the architecture that's created and built today. One of the really exciting pieces on loan from the Maxwell Museum at the University of New Mexico, it's a historic piece of selenite from an Acoma Pueblo building.
Oh, wow. Talk a little bit about that. What is that material?
Yeah. So it has kind of a similar appearance to quartz, but it is selenite. It's a white kind of luster, and so that it was used for windows, and so that it had this reflective property. And the team did a great job of reaching out to different institutions and community members to borrow these kinds of materials so that visitors can get that firsthand experience of what this kind of material looks like and how they interact with it.
And talk a little bit about that. I mean, this exhibit is kind of a collaborative effort between so many different places, UNM, Acoma, Pueblo, and then us as well. So it really was a team effort to kind of put this exhibit together.
Yeah, definitely. And we've been working on it for several months, really since early November. The collaborations, it's a long list, and it's really exciting. One of the central partners for the exhibition is Electric Playhouse, which is a digital interactive production company right here in Albuquerque, and they've just done a fantastic job of making the feature in the immersive theater of Sky City be this really intense, exciting space of learning, and something that will be approachable for all ages and all visitors.
Cool. It sounds really great. I encourage everyone to come out and visit and take a look, because it's really a great experience to walk through that exhibit.
Thank you. And the visitors and home communities will have a chance to learn even more from different practicing architects and designers from Native communities in the Southwest. We have a program series that's going to be launching. If you go to our website, this series is generously supported by the New Mexico Humanities Council. And so you can see on IndianPueblo.org the full schedule. I also want to give a shout out to the Noon Whistle Fund, who really made all of the architectural renovations possible for the project. Both exhibitions are generously supported by one of our major partners, the First Nations Development Institute, and we're so grateful.
All right, great. Dr. Lanteri, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you for listening to the Pueblo in Focus podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe.